there's little stealing, like you does. There's big stealing, like I does. Or the little stealing, that gets you in jail, sooner or later. But for the big stealing, it makes you emperor and puts you in the Hall of Fame.
So O'Neill heard this story in a bar about not that far from where we are here at the Irish Rep up on 28th Street. He heard the story of a dictator in Haiti who ruled his people because he said they couldn't shoot him unless they shot him with a silver bullet.
5 bed, and the silver lady at the last. Ooh. Ain't she shine pretty?
I'm playing Brutus Jones in Eugene O'Neill's play The Emperor Jones. I suppose it's the story of a man and every man really. He wants to make something of himself. He's a Pullman who works in the United States. He ends up killing one of his best friends over an argument, goes to jail, breaks out of jail, and then he leaves to go to Haiti, an island in the Caribbean, start a new life. And in that time he meets up with a scoundrel called Smithers, and they both decide to rip off the country and create their own despotic rule on the island.
Something's happened before I even come on stage, and what's happened is a form of, I guess, insurrection, you'd call it, revolution, where the natives, the people that the Emperor Jones has been ruling over for however many years, have taken off to the hills.
What's this?
Where does he go? He decides to cross the forest to try and get to the other side of the island to get a French ship to Martinique.
He thinks he has a clean getaway planned, but his past transgressions come back to haunt him.
He meets trees, he meets a witch doctor, he meets many people from the past and perhaps, we don't know, or the present, or another dimension we don't know, that I think they're ghosts or motifs of his conscience.
The favorite thing that came first is the witch doctor dance, like playing all those percussion parts and also being a part of playing a score and selecting all those instruments, you know, that work with the text and work with the journeys and work with the jungle and them all being organic.
How I prepared to play the role of the crocodile. YouTube University, just really watching their mannerisms and just the small nuances of how they move, the tail, the quick twitching, and like how they attack their prey. Just really trying to get into the mind of a crocodile.
I thought the jungle itself could become a character and really become part of almost his adversary at times, so that it becomes inside his head.
We cover a lot of ground, figuratively and literally in this piece, and so I wanted to create an environment that was an expressionistic environment that could take us through the various places that he needed to go, both physically and mentally, which is why we created sort of this jungle which is around us here, which is this sort of permeable barrier in a way, where his memories can come through, his fears can come through, and actors can come and go through in a way that enters and leaves his world in a really interesting way.
With every single costume in the piece, we strove to kind of make it kind of this blurry sketch, and these creatures where you're not quite sure like if they're coming or going or what exactly you're seeing. You're almost just seeing it through a filter of like this kind of dream that you're having.
It's a nightmare of a guy trying to find out what his life is all about, and he's going into the darkness to discover it. And the way O'Neill has written it, every time he goes into a dark place, there's a little spot of light that he can find. He can grasp a little of his life.
Now, if this were written by Charles Dickens, this play would have been about his sins coming back to haunt him for what he had done. But because it's written by Eugene O'Neill, it goes way much deeper into the psyche. It's not just his sins, but it's the sins that were performed against him and his people.
Is this an auction? Are you selling me like they used to be burning up? You sell me?
Watching a man's journey, facing up to his past, facing up to aspects of what he's done and who he is, that's the most interesting thing about the play for me.
We see someone in power, and we see someone who not necessarily does the right things with his power, and we see how that affects the people that he's doing that too, and we all can feel something with that in 2017, I think.
It is a beautiful play that explores a lovely sense of imagination, magic, beauty, pain, darkness, a yearning for forgiveness.
The play starts off with this man, you see him, the highest of his highest, sitting on a throne. And then towards the end of the play, he is as low as a peasant, you know, like, so you watch him go from high to low, and to be somebody that actually has to be on his knees crying and confessing his sins is like a 360. It's like one of those situations where you have to just look in the mirror and speak to yourself.
I think theater is supposed to make us think and make us reflect on our own lives and what's going on in the world. And I think that there's no better time than the present to see a show that makes you do such. And I think this show will really make people think and really make people talk about themselves and what they're going through and what we're all going through.